In the previous lessons, we explored Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, the practice of deep wisdom, and the profound insight that arises through the perfection of wisdom. The Heart Sutra now directs our attention to something very close to us, our own experience. When Avalokiteshvara looked deeply, he saw that the five aggregates are empty. To understand this realization, we must first understand what the five aggregates are and why the Buddha taught them. The Buddha encouraged his followers to investigate their experience carefully rather than simply accepting assumptions about who they are. Most people naturally believe there is a permanent, independent self somewhere within them. We say, my body, my feelings, my thoughts, and my mind, often assuming there is a fixed owner behind these experiences. The Buddha invited us to examine this belief closely and discover what we actually find. The word aggregate refers to a collection or grouping of elements. According to Buddhist teaching, what we call a person is made up of five aggregates that work together continuously. These aggregates are not separate objects, but interconnected processes that create our experience of life from moment to moment. They are form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. The first aggregate is form, which includes the physical body and the material world experienced through the senses. Everything we can touch, see, hear, smell, or taste belongs to the aggregate of form. The body itself is constantly changing, growing older, and responding to countless conditions. Even though we often think of the body as a stable thing, careful observation reveals a process of continual change. The second aggregate is feeling. In Buddhist teachings, feeling does not primarily mean emotions. Instead, it refers to the immediate experience of something as pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Every moment of experience carries one of these qualities. A beautiful sound may feel pleasant, a painful injury unpleasant, and the hum of a distant machine may pass almost unnoticed as neutral. These feelings often influence our desires and reactions before we even realize it. The third aggregate is perception. Perception is the mind's ability to recognize, identify, and label experiences. When we see a tree, hear a familiar voice, or recognize a friend's face, perception is at work. This aggregate helps us navigate the world, but it can also lead us to form fixed ideas and assumptions that do not always reflect reality accurately. The fourth aggregate is mental formations. This category includes thoughts, intentions, habits, preferences, emotions, memories, and countless mental activities. Mental formations shape the way we respond to situations and influence the choices we make. Many of these patterns develop over years of conditioning, often operating beneath conscious awareness. The fifth aggregate is consciousness. Consciousness is the awareness that arises when there is contact between a sense organ and its object. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking all involve consciousness. Rather than being a permanent observer standing apart from experience, consciousness is an ever-changing process that depends upon conditions. When we look at these five aggregates together, an important question arises. Where is the permanent self? Is it found in the body? In feelings? In thoughts? In awareness itself? The Buddha taught that when we examine each aggregate carefully, we discover that none of them remain fixed or independent. They arise due to causes and conditions and constantly change. The idea of a separate, unchanging self begins to weaken under this investigation. This teaching is not meant to deny our existence or suggest that nothing matters. Instead, it helps us understand ourselves more accurately. Much of our suffering comes from clinging to things that are constantly changing and trying to make them into something permanent. By understanding the five aggregates, we begin to see how this attachment develops and how wisdom can gradually free us from it. The five aggregates provide a framework for understanding human experience. Form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness work together to create what we normally call self. As we continue our study, we will examine each aggregate in greater detail and explore why Avalokiteshvara saw them as empty. This investigation is not merely philosophical. It is a practical path toward greater wisdom, freedom, and the relief of suffering. In the next lesson, we will begin with the first aggregate, form, the physical aspect of our experience.